this time, we're going to move on to the reading of our Daily Word. Daily Word is a publication of Unity Worldwide Ministries. And our word for today, August 18th, can you believe it? August 18th already, is wholeness. And our affirmation is, as a divine being, I am whole. Will you join me in that affirmation, please, together? As a divine being, I am whole. I know I am whole, wondrously made, and a unique expression of the divine. But I cannot truly know wholeness if I become distracted by an experience of illness or thoughts of lack or limitation. I do not resist limiting thoughts. Instead, I let the light of divine understanding dissolve the darkness of spiritual ignorance. Remembering that divine life lives as me, I affirm my body's wholeness, even if I'm experiencing illness. Growing awareness of the limitless flow of divine ideas reminds me I have all I need to experience a joyous, abundant life. As I say yes again and again to my true spiritual nature, my life becomes an ever-unfolding demonstration of wholeness. And our scripture this morning is from Luke 11:36, and it reads, "If then your whole body is full of light, with no part of it in darkness, it will be as full of light as when a lamp gives you light with its rays." Again, our word for today is wholeness. And our affirmation, if you'll join with me one more time together, please. As a divine being, I am whole. And so it is.
I invite you just to get comfortable as we enter into this sacred space, taking a deep breath or two as we center ourselves in the presence and Spirit of God. Come unto me, you who are weary and heavy burdened, and I will give you rest. We come into this sacred space and we find rest. We find peace. We find comfort. As we rest in the stillness of the presence of God, as we turn our hearts and minds toward that connection, that unity that we have with the divine, we take a holy pause and we rest, allowing the wholeness, the life, the strength of God to flow in us and through us as us. During this moment, we let go of any heaviness, any burdens, any stressful or worrying thoughts for this moment. And we speak peace to our hearts and minds. And we rest in the allness that God is. We take this moment in the secret place. We take this moment in this holy place, this holy special moment, with our attention, our hearts, our minds stayed on the absolute, the infinite, the allness. We allow the flow of spirit and strength and life to fill us with love, with faith, with power and strength, with wisdom, guidance, and understanding. And we say yes to the divine, giving consent to the divine in our life and through our life. We allow that light, that love, that presence to flow through us to each and every person in this room, and each and every person who is watching by stream, into that room they're in. We release the presence and love of the divine into this community, into this city, county, and state, into this nation, and into this world. It is our hope. This presence is our hope. This love is our future. And we have it in this present moment. And as we hold each and every one in our hearts, we go into the stillness with our mind set on this holy presence, the allness. As we take a moment to rest in silence in this holy presence. As we return to this present moment from this holy pause, we're grateful. We have gratitude for all that we have and all that we are. We're grateful for this community. We're grateful for this presence. And we're grateful for the love and light that fills our hearts from the divine. We open our hearts to receive the fullness of what the divine has for us this day. And we say, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.
So I find a fascinating line in that where it says, God won't let it last too long. Thank you, Joyce. Joyce said, you sure? That's a fascinating dynamic. So that song, in some ways, it's a great entree for a conversation about unity speak, because unity believes that God is the oneness, the allness, the everything, not a person, not even a super person, not some kind of human-like being that holds human-like thoughts and that guides us in a human-like way through things that are going on. And there's so many religious walks that create God as this person. I heard somebody say it one time, and I don't know how many times I've said it now, is, God created us in the image and likeness of God, and then in our personhood, we return to the favor and created God in the image of a person. There's a lot in that. So songs, when we hear songs that are something like that are so beautiful and they're so encouraging, and it's so wonderful, that message is amazing. You can make it. You can do anything. You can get through anything. You are not alone. And if we think of God as somebody who is letting things happen or keeping things from happening, we're shooting God right back into that person's skin again. So I love songs like that. They're so juicy to me when we find a place in a song that it gives us a chance to look at the line and think about how it shows up in a world where we believe that God is the allness, that God isn't a personage, who is experiencing things even in just a better way than we are, or just knows a little bit more. But God is the allness that we're in. And so therefore, when something comes along that is a challenge for us or that is hard for us, absolutely we can make it because we're inside God when we're going through the challenge. And in reality, it's not some super guy on a cloud sitting there pulling our puppet strings or watching entertained as we struggle through our struggles. God is within the situation that we are going through, that we are feeling, that we are struggling with. So it isn't so much that someone or something out there is going to fix it or make it stop or let it be something or some way. It's us. It is us within the use of universal law, God as principle, within the tools, the spiritual tools that we have and that we allow ourselves to use to lessen the time we spend in the struggle. Now that's wonderful and freeing and empowering and scary as all get out sometimes. Because again, it says if pain is inevitable. Stuff happens. Lots of things in this life happen that feel like a struggle or that feel like we're having a hard time dealing with. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Now that may sound, hold on a second, Trish. What some kind of cosmic double talk gobbledygook. No, it isn't. Yes, you will hurt. Yes, things are going to happen that are going to feel really, sometimes supremely uncomfortable. I've heard it said so many times, life gives you the test first and the answers to the questions afterward. And boy, do we find that, right? Like suddenly you are at the threshold, feeling like you're standing on the very edge, and you've got to jump. The part about feeling equipped to jump, I don't know where my words just went, but feeling equipped to jump comes from what we are relying on as our ability to make it through things. If we are relying on a God that we think is somehow manipulating our reality to test us, or as I hear so many people say, Satan's trying to get you, or the devil's trying to get you, it's all right here. So the situations come, the things happen, and the God or the devil is in the details depending on how you receive what is coming at you. There are so many things that have happened, and I don't always want to use my husband's passing when we get to these, but I'm telling you, that's the place where the bottom fell out of my life in a way that I didn't know how I was going to reconstruct. I've had very few things in my life that have pushed me that far. And when that happened, and when I felt, oh my gosh, where am I going and what am I going to do? I knew even in the moment he left, when we were looking in each other's eyes, there was a sacredness to that. There is a sacredness in the leavings and the comings and the thresholds and the places where we feel like if we could just jump and not be afraid to try our wings, we just might fly. If we can think more about being able to fly and trusting our wings than how much this is not what I wanted or doesn't look the way I thought it would or doesn't feel good. It's all about where we're putting our focus. It's not denying where we're at. I didn't wake up the next morning and go, oh, that didn't happen. I woke up the next morning and said, oh, as the reality dawns again. You know, when you wake up and your computer reboots and you go, oh yeah, this is where I am today. this is what my life is made up of today. We don't deny any of that. We cry if we need to cry. We go through fear. We are afraid sometimes. The thing is that we have this power tool of knowing that God's in it too. So when we get to those places, when we feel pushed beyond our limit or not sure where we're going, we get to say, yes, I can make it. And not be, pie in the sky, rainbows and unicorns. I'm going to make it and everything's just fine. We're not in that kind of a place. Unity is practical, positive, but practical spirituality. So it's that practical step. It's the piece that goes, okay, I am so afraid right now, or I have no clue what I'm going to literally do in the next hour. But guess what? God is here in it with me. So I get to take a breath, I get to pause, and I get to lean on that godness, lay in that godness, and say, okay, I am embraced. I feel embraced in godness. And so, yes, that godness, that impulse of God within me would like to have me get through this as best I can. And it's up to me to lean on the godness to allow that to happen. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. I spent yesterday in West Palm Beach with my kids and my grandkids, and it was my granddaughter's 16th birthday. And she wanted a formal, where everybody came dressed to the nines. And we've known for a couple weeks, we've known for months, that I was going to be coming over for the day, helping to set up for the party, and leaving as the party began so that I could get back here and prep for today and make sure that, everything was set, but that I wouldn't be able to stay for the party. So I didn't even bring a dress. I was in my flip-flops and my jeans and my big old baggy t-shirt and hung out with everybody, and we had an amazing day, and it was wonderful. And I watched a struggle going on for my daughter, and I know that we've talked about it, but being 2.5 hours away, I don't always get to see what she's going through physically and be in the same place. And so there was that yesterday of watching my daughter lean in and enjoy this beautiful celebration that she's putting forward, but also to know that there's a lot on her plate right now. There's so much more on her plate than really should be, or I would ever want to see on her plate. And so it's, what do we do with those opportunities? So yesterday I helped as best I could, and I told you guys a month ago or so that we actually had a kind of an upheaval about this party when there was a miscommunication, and I kind of knew then that my daughter was really pressed at that point. And as a mom, she may be 38 years old, but she's my kid. She's my kid, and you want to fix it, and you want to make it okay, and you want to take it all away. And we have what is ours to do, and we don't need to do what is someone else's to do. And if we're trying to live our lives piling everybody else's wants and needs on our back, we're going to break. We're going to break. And so what I know I can do is I can show up in certain ways to help my daughter when I can, and I can do what is mine to do, and then I can trust that what is at work in her is doing its work, and that she'll allow that to happen. And if she doesn't, I can pray her through it and let her be her. See, there's this big piece for us. What happens when someone we love is going through stuff that we can't change because we didn't create the situation? Steve likes to say it a lot, choices. It's all about our choices. We make our choices, and then our life shows up in that way to support the choice and the energy that we're putting forward. And nobody can come in with a magic eraser and make it all go away. I love Mr. Clean, but even he can't do that. And so I will hold what I can hold. I will show up where I can show up, and I will release the rest that is not mine to do. And I will know this because I've seen the pattern repeat again and again. See, here's where we are. We say that, the truth will set you free, and the line that often follows it is, but first it will piss you off. Well, the key here is the truth will set you free. End of sentence. Whether it has to make you angry or hurt or struggle before you set yourself free is not up to the truth. It's up to you. It's up to me. So we can struggle as much as we want to. We can put ourselves through whatever we think we need to go through. But here's a homework assignment this week. I'm going to give it to us at the beginning here, or sort of beginning. Take a good look this week at your life, at your patterns, at your habits, at where you spend most of the time with your thoughts, at where you spend thinking, or what you spend thinking about the things that are happening. Because here's the key to our freedom. There are parts of our lives that work really well. Everyone. We all have parts of our lives that we're like, wow, I'm kind of proud of me for creating that, or I like the way that I respond in those situations, or gosh, I've got that. I understand that. So look at those pieces of your life this week and say, okay, so how did I get there? How did I get so comfortable with this piece, while this piece I keep repeating and repeating and repeating, and it's like a record with a scratch in it, and I just keep getting stuck in the scratch. So we look at all of those patterns because our freedom is found in finding the tools that work for us, finding the truth that we can live and thrive in the hard parts. So we need to look at them in order to do that. The more we go, la, 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 it's not happening, it's not going to make it go away. If we can go, here I am again, and there's a lot in this for me to learn, and okay, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to center, I'm going to go back into God, I'm going to think about what I've used in places in my life that are really working, and I'm going to put those tools to use in this place that I don't feel so good about. See, I got to the point yesterday in my granddaughter's Sweet 16, and I'm looking at my family from life, and I'm watching my grandkids and my son in his suit looking all dapper, and we were talking about mustache grooming supplies because he has moved into that area of coiffing the mustache into something of a piece of art. And I'm looking at my husband and his wife who are raising their grandchildren, and I'm looking at the relationship that we have forged through many years and lots of work to be great together as we all are in this weird, dynamic, wonderful conglomerate of a family. And I'm watching my granddaughter, who is turned into, suddenly, overnight, she went from this little kid to, oh my gosh, she's almost a woman in front of my face in a beautiful gown, welcoming her friends in her 11th grade year of high school. And I had this moment of, I don't want to leave. I don't want to go. I want to stay. And I started crying in front of my kids. And my granddaughter said, Mama, don't. I have makeup on. She said, I can't. Because the other piece of it is thinking of my late husband and how much he would have loved to have been there. And how he and my husband would have ridiculed me all night long because they loved each other. And we would have had fun with that. And I thought, I'm not ready to leave. I don't want to leave. And I knew in that moment, I've told you, my son and I cried together a lot after I came here because I wasn't there. And I thought, I get him in this very moment. I don't want to waste this moment, and I want to love this time together. But I'm going to feel so sad to leave. And bless my daughter-in-law, soon-to-be daughter-in-law, who said, Mom, I'll drive to Sebring. Just stay. I'll drive and I'll let your dogs out and I'll make sure Mom is okay. And you just stay. I don't want you to leave. And I said, no, it's okay. Because here we are, right? These things that we see in life that we go, I don't want this. Not this. Not right now. I don't feel like I can do this right now. Or it's pressing me. Or I'm sad. Or whatever it is. Do we reach for a pint of Ben & Jerry's? Or a bottle of wine? Or a 7-hour binge marathon of the Umbrella Academy? Or do we look at it and say, thank you. Thank you for being their coping mechanism. There are some coping mechanisms that work so well, and there are some coping mechanisms that are really not good for us. So when we get to that moment, and what I said to my daughter-in-law was, thank you. Thank you for that, and it's also a reset for me, but I'm really good. These tears are from love and appreciation. I appreciate this extended family that I've cultivated, and I love it. And I want to be in it and stay in it every minute. And I appreciate this extended family that I've cultivated, and I want to be with it and stay with it every minute. So we dance those waves of difficulty when we come upon them, and we allow them to become the appreciation for the richness that we have in our lives. God won't let it last too long. See, when you go back within and you connect with the God within you, that suffering lightens. The crutch then doesn't become a 6-pack. It becomes 10 minutes of a walk in nature, or a call to a friend that you know is going to help you through it. It's all learning opportunities. Every minute of every day, most especially the ones that we get to that we say, I don't want this. That's where we get to go, where is my center? What is my truth? What do I believe? And what am I going to do with this? And it literally in that moment transformed for me. I realized how much love I have, and that I'm not losing something there to gain something here. I have this new walk. I have this new dynamic of wanting to make sure I spend a little more time with my kids and my family, and that once in a while I can spend the night instead of run back home before 9 o'clock at night. So I got that yesterday. I got it. I got to that threshold, and I thought, if I would have planned this a little better, I could have stayed overnight. Mike is perfectly capable of doing this talk in the morning and have you guys learning and loving and growing. And the next time something like this happens in my life, I'm going to prepare better. I'm going to land in it long enough to take the lesson and to know that, wait a minute, I may want to stay. Do I want to create that opportunity for myself? Let's land in what we are. I had the most beautiful opportunity this week to articulate Unity of Sebring to Sebring. The Sebring Chamber of Commerce contacted Tina and said, we would like to feature Unity of Sebring. And so they do a thing that is a Saturday spotlight on the Facebook group, and I don't know if they do it anywhere else. But so when they contacted Tina, Tina said, here, you do this. Which I love. Yeah, which I love. Because Tina and I do that a lot. We're like, we got to do this. Which one of us is going to do it and which one, And so we play to our strengths. I happen to kind of be a writer in one of my roles in life. And so Tina said, you write this. And so I sat down and you'd think this would be a 5-minute exercise and it would be easy. But I was talking to Val this morning and I was saying, we've been working on getting a pack-up, a traveling little Unity setup, so that we can go to the soda festival and whatever else is happening in our community, and the Caladium Festival in Lake Placid and something in Avon Park, bless you, and whatever's happening, that we can go there and we can have a 6-foot foldable table and a 10-foot pop-up tent and banners and literature and things that we can hand people to get to know Unity of Sebring and something fun to do. And we've been talking about it for a while, and our plate is pretty full. And it's fascinating when we allow ourselves to lean in, when we allow ourselves to allow the truth to set us free without getting pissed off. When we allow ourselves to be in that energy, everything happens in the time it's supposed to happen in. So when the Sebring Chamber reached out, I'm going to read you actually what was crafted this week. This took me forever. But I really, when we're think about this for a minute. So we're reaching to people who may or may not attend church, who may or may not be Christian, who may or may not have baggage when they hear the word church or God or anything like that. And Unity, we have this most beautiful ability and practices that reach beyond people's normal thoughts about church. And I thought, how do we articulate this in a way that we can meet people with? And so, tell me if you think this represents Unity of Sebring, because we want to articulate it more. It helps us all to be able to do that. Unity of Sebring Life Enrichment Center is the place to come when you're looking for a relatable, accessible approach to spirituality that you can use to improve the life you live every day. We don't tell you what to think or believe. We help you explore what you are thinking and believing and learn how that affects the way life shows up for you. Then we provide spiritual power tools that help you connect with the God or source of your understanding to consciously create the life you'd like to be living. Unity brings a positive, practical, progressive approach to spirituality and Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus and the power of prayer. We honor the universal truths in all religious walks and respect everyone's right to choose their own spiritual path. We are an all-embracing, inclusive community that is as serious about enjoyment as it is about learning and growing together. In addition to our service, every Sunday at 10:30, we offer a variety of spiritual groups and classes, along with non-religious activities and concerts that let people gather just for fun. And then I give our contact information. Does that feel like what Unity is to you? Oh, thank you. Thank you. To articulate those few sentences took me about 5 hours. Because I kept putting a sentence in and taking a sentence out and putting something else in, and then it sounded too churchy, and then it sounded too woo-woo, and then it sounded, it was this dance back and forth. And isn't that Unity? We are in this dance back and forth between a church, a spiritual center. It gets confusing for people. So I want to, this exercise this week energized me so much and made me want to be better at what I do. It made me want to continue opening these doors for people in our community to be here on their own terms. We're not trying to proselytize and convert people. See, that's a big thing about Unity. And it's fascinating because so many people have said to me, I just don't understand why Unity churches aren't just bursting at the seams with what belief system we have and what we are doing. Well, when you take away the guilt, when you take away the have to, and you have people that were often raised in religious walks that you have to, that you must, that you are sinners and that you must be saved, or that the devil is in the details. or that it's a struggle, but one day you'll get to heaven. See, in unity, we don't believe heaven is a one-day you'll thing. In unity, we believe heaven or hell are not locations, one filled with lava and one with golden streets. We believe that heaven and hell are states of mind that we put ourselves in every day of our lives by the choices that we make, by the reality that we embrace. That's the unity I want us to be. That's the unity I want to be. So therefore, I have taken the invitation that all these cool words gave me this week. They didn't come from me. They came through me because I sat and said, how do we articulate unity to our community so we can be unity more effectively in our community? These are not my words. These are the words of God that I allowed to happen. So, can we? Will we? Will you help me get better and better with what we are offering, and more inclusive and expansive with what we are doing, and with bringing, if you know a band, heaven's sakes, I'll leave it after this, but this is where it really showed me that I needed to articulate, I don't know what. Some new form of math or something. That's the way it feels sometimes, because I have asked, I've told you guys, we're going to have concerts here every other month and lots of soloists. You've seen a few. But when I go to people and say, hi, I'm the minister at Unity, I'd love to have you come sing, they go, ugh. I can't tell you how many of the bands in our area and everything, I've gone to their concerts to hear them. I have sang every word to every regular song. I've told them those would be great, come sing. And everybody goes, yes, ma'am. I can't tell you how many times I have been called ma'am by one particular person in one particular duo, and bless his heart, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And I know with every yes, ma'am, he's thinking, no way in Hades. Nope, never going to be there. Nope, ain't happening. Help me. Help us energetically make that shift to create more waves of unity in Sebring and Highlands County, to articulate who and what we are and who and what we are hoping to do in ways that touch more and more people. That's what we're here for. That's what we're up to. We're getting schooled every day. What doesn't work? What isn't working? Let's take every opportunity to be better and better at articulating and showing up and reaching for our godness when it feels like we can't. That's what we're here for. And we can. Thank you. And so it is.
Trish, Tina, and the production team thank you for joining us. You can submit a prayer request, donate, and find more information on our website at www.unityofsebring.org.